What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back in to another video. And today we're going to be talking about the 2019 NFL draft and how that could have played out. Because as you guys know, the New York Giants were in position to get edge rusher Josh Allen, wound up being taken by Jacksonville, number 7th overall. But we were in prime position to get Josh Allen, number 6 overall. And instead we went with Daniel Jones. Now, you guys know every video maker's video about Daniel Jones went viral. This whole problem started brewing around of Dave Gettleman and choosing Daniel Jones number 6 overall when everybody was saying he shouldn't have been a first round pick, this and that. But he wound up to be a good pick. Now, I wanted to make a video, what if the New York Giants drafted Josh Allen instead of Daniel Jones? Now, this isn't going to be a huge type of difference just because Daniel Jones was drafted last year, so there's not much of a domino effect that we can really follow. But I came up with a scenario of and the position we would be in this year if we went with Josh Allen instead of Daniel Jones, and kind of leave it up to interpretation whether you guys think we should have drafted Josh Allen or whether you guys think we were right to get Daniel Jones. Now, Josh Allen last year had about 10 sacks and really showed that he was a good 7th overall pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and really showed up to be as one of their best defensive players. Now they've gotten rid of so many defensive players. Now he's pretty much their only great defensive player, but he showed up to be a very good pick for Jacksonville. And probably with the Giants, you probably would have had around the same amount of sacks, and you would have thought Marcus Golden would probably not have 10 sacks as well, probably would have about 6 or 7 just because Josh Allen probably would have gotten there first. But the first thing we can definitely count on is the defense would have been a lot better. And not only from the pass rush standpoint, but from the pass defense standpoint. You look at the secondary last year, constantly having to guard receivers downfield for over 4 to 5 seconds, even more than that, even on third downs. And that was a big problem last year of, why DeAndre Baker struggled, why a lot of these cornerbacks really struggled. Janoris Jenkins even threw the edge rushers or the pass rushers in the front 7 under the bus at one point last season, saying that he can only guard receivers downfield for so long. And it's very true. With Josh Allen there, he would have made an impact on the defensive side of the football, both from the front 7 point of view and for the pass defense. It would have been a lot better. Then we could have Lorenzo Carter, O'Shane Ximines coming. O'Shane Ximines probably wouldn't even have been drafted. That's another thing. O'Shane Ximines probably wouldn't even have been drafted. So you could then go on and say, well, maybe the Giants got a tackle. Maybe the Giants got a center or something like that. I know couple of guys were available in that 3rd round. I think the Jets took a 3rd round tackle that probably we could have gotten if we had Josh Allen with that 6th overall pick, and then in the 3rd round, instead of getting O'Shane Ximines, we got a tackle. So there's a lot of things that can be a domino effect if we got Josh Allen over Daniel Jones. Now, if we drafted Josh Allen, that means the Giants stick with Eli Manning for one more year, and we are basically going to see a terrible offense once again. Now, this is not all on Eli Manning, but when you have a bad offensive line that really breaks quite easily, the interior played a lot better last year, but again, the tackle spot was a huge problem, and we thought it was going to be addressed. Nate Solder, we thought was going to bounce back. Mike Remmers, we thought was going to be somewhat better than anybody else we put there in previous years, but that didn't wind up to be the case. The tackle spot was still a huge problem, and Eli Manning would have still been running around in the pocket when he knows he can't run, trying to get out the way and trying to make plays with his legs and trying to roll out and throw the ball on the run, things like that. It was just not working out. And again, we would have had a terrible offense, again, with the wide receivers that were constantly injured. Golden Tate was on a 4-game suspension. Sterling Shepard had 2 concussions last year. Corey Coleman out for the whole year. Benny Fowler jumping on the roster and jumping off the roster. Cody Latimer dealing with a lot of injury issues as well. Darius Slayton was the lone bright spot. And when Eli Manning played later on in the season against Miami and against Philly, Darius Slayton had one of his best games. His best 2 games were with Eli Manning. But you look at all the adversity that Eli Manning was put under in such an old career, I don't think he would have been able to overcome that just because of his old age and father time catching up to him. I think Daniel Jones, with his youthfulness, his ability to get out the pocket, his fresh legs, his better arm, better accuracy, I think he was able to overcome that adversity that honestly, he made it look easy with all the stuff that were happening to the Giants offense. He made it look easy, but if Eli Manning was still there, man, this would have been one of the worst offenses in the NFL. So now we look onto this season, the 2020 NFL Draft. So if we have Josh Allen instead of Daniel Jones, that means quarterback is still a huge need. So I'm going to assume, and we have to try to play this out the best we can, but I'm going to assume the Giants still stay in the top 5. Like I said, the offense was going to struggle mightily under Eli Manning, and that's nothing against Eli Manning. That's just me saying that Eli Manning would have a tougher time overcoming those issues and adversity than Daniel Jones because of his youthfulness, because of his fresh legs, because of, honestly, his better arm, better accuracy. Pretty much everything was better at this point in his career than Eli Manning. Eli Manning was at the tail end of his career. Everything was just down as far as his old stuff. He's not in his prime, obviously, so I don't think I need to defend that anymore. So just so people don't come at me in the comments saying, Eli Manning's a scrub. He wasn't a scrub. It's just that I think Daniel Jones definitely overcome and adapted to adversity better than Eli Manning would have at this point in his career. So we look at the 2020 NFL Draft, and you have some prime targets there, and you can't help but think if we kept Eli Manning and somehow, like I said, with the offensive struggles and the defense probably getting better with Josh Allen there, but with the offensive struggles, would there possibly be a chance that we were in the running for Joe Burrow at quarterback? That is a huge question to have, and that's one of probably the biggest domino effects we could think about is, were the Giants in prime position to get Joe Burrow if we didn't draft Daniel Jones this year? You never know. Cincinnati had a 2-14 record last year. You don't know if the Giants were to have. We went 4-12 last year, so you don't know if we were going to have 3-13 or 2-14 or 1-15, something like that. Just thinking about it. If we were in the number 1 overall pick type of situation, we could have had Joe Burrow on the team. But let's just say the Giants were in the top 5. Let's just be safe with it and say we were in the top 5. Who are the quarterback prospects for the top 5? Now, I'm going to imagine that offensive tackle is still a big need. Whether we got one in the 3rd round last year, I know there's Chuma Edoga or something like that. I think that was his name last year, out of, I believe, USC. Maybe we could have drafted him with that 3rd round pick instead of O'Shane Ximines because of the whole domino effect there. Now, in the 2020 NFL Draft, we have Tua Tagovailoa and Justin Herbert to look at as quarterback prospects. Now, 10 times out of 10, I'm always going to take Tua Tagovailoa. I think Justin Herbert can slip in this draft, possibly go in the 2nd round. I don't think he's very raw. I think he's terrible at decision making. I don't think he's worth a 6th overall pick or a 7th or wherever he's going to go. I don't even think he's worth a top 15 pick. So I'm going to take Tua all the way. So we just drafted Tua Tagovailoa. We have Josh Allen on the team. We then go on to the second round pick, and that's 36 overall. So now we move on to our 2nd round pick, and we could kind of go and kind of be around in the ballpark. Like I said, we don't know what the Giants' record would have been, but we definitely know it would have been in the top 5. So we could estimate the Giants still have a pick in the top 5 of the 2nd round as well. So I want to say the Giants go after another tackle. I know Cesar Ruiz is there, but getting a fresh, new quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa is coming off a bad injury as well. You want to make sure that at least his tackles are secure. So if he needs to step up in the pocket, if he needs to get out the pocket, he can do that. So we could risk, not drafting Cesar Ruiz or not drafting Cushenberry or not drafting any other top center in this draft in the 2nd round, and we can go after an Isaiah Wilson, who is not as good as his Georgia counterpart Andrew Thomas, but he is a good 2nd round prospect, so get him, put him at right tackle potentially. So I want to imagine with a Tua Tagovailoa on the New York Giants, and we just drafted him with the tackle spots being an issue, whether we drafted Edoga or not. You still go after another tackle here in the 2nd round, get Isaiah Wilson, and I think that's where the Giants would go with those first 2 picks had we drafted Josh Allen last year. Now, it's very hard to think what they're going to do in the rest of this draft. They just drafted a quarterback. They just drafted tackle. Now you can go after a center. You can go after an edge rusher if you really want to. Maybe a safety. Other guys. You can really mix and match depending on the guys that are on the table at that point in time. So, that being said, guys, I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below. Would you guys have wanted Josh Allen instead because of this whole domino effect? We could have been in prime position to get Joe Burrow, who knows, or Tua Tagovailoa instead of Daniel Jones and still have Josh Allen. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Woo!